This is WVUA Law Call.
Well, tonight is one of our most popular topics here on WVUA Law Call, but that's really not for a good reason. We're talking about divorce and child custody, and it affects so many people because nearly half of all marriages end in divorce. Now, that's a fact, not just something you hear from time to time. And tonight, we're taking your questions about divorce, child custody, child support, grandparents' rights. There are so many things we can talk about when it comes to family law, and it seems like as time goes on, the topic just gets more and more complex. So pick up that phone, give us your calls, give us your questions. We want to know what is on your mind about divorce and child custody. Here's the number you need to know. It is 205-348-WVUA, 205-348-9882. Also, if you don't want to call in but you have a question, that's all right. You can sit down at that computer and send us an email. Our email address is lawcall@WVUA7.com. You're welcome to send that question in via email. So go ahead, get those calls in, get those emails in, get those questions in so our attorneys have something to talk about tonight. We'll give you a moment to do that while we let you know what's coming up here in the next few weeks on WVUA Law Call. Next week is a topic applies again to so many people, hurt on the road. Lots of us spend lots of time on the road. Then on May 29th, if you're hurt on the road, you might find yourself fighting the insurance company. That's our topic 2 weeks from tonight. And then on June 5th, we'll be talking about losing your employee benefits. Lots of good things on the way.
Great topics.
Great topic tonight. Again, it is unfortunate, but if it doesn't affect you, it affects someone you know. Child custody, divorce, it's tough.
It's a bad disease. It's almost like it's an epidemic.
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. Now, you used to work in the divorce arena. Not anymore.
Not anymore. I do all injury work now.
That's right. You do all injury work, and we've actually got a photo of a case that I have to assume that ended in an injury.
Well, it did, and the teaching point on this for everybody is that what happened was this lady was driving her car and she couldn't see around the bend because of the guardrail on the side of the road and vegetation had grown up. So that can be a case, believe it or not. If you're injured in a one-car wreck, this other car came around, I guess ran her off the road and she hit the embankment. But you don't always have to have two cars to have a cause of action or a claim.
And Bob, I bet a lot of folks don't realize that. They think
That's
if it was just them, oh well, you know, out of luck.
Yeah, a good example is a railroad crossing, Terry, where the vegetation's all grown up and you can't see the train coming around the track. And the railroad company's supposed to cut it down so you can see.
Very, very interesting. Well, so far we've talked about divorce and accidents. It's not all bad things to talk about. We do have something good to talk about. Something your law firm is involved in that's a very good thing, and that's a golf tournament.
That's right. We're very proud to sponsor the PAL tournament. I think the Exchange Club puts it on, but all those proceeds go for the Police Athletic League, and it's a wonderful, wonderful event, and a lot of money's raised, and we're just glad to be a part of that.
That's absolutely right, and it is tomorrow at Old Colony Golf Course. And if you have any questions about it, the number's on your screen, 205-393-7187. A lot of fun for a very good cause.
Yes,
so,
and the rain is going to stay away.
I hope so. I think you know, it'll hold off for you all. It's a good thing it wasn't today, though, because we got quite a soaking. And so tonight we are talking about divorce, child custody. You have a very good guest.
I do, and fortunately I do, because I don't really like to talk about divorce and custody. But I did. I brought one of my best friends and a good lawyer, Bill McGuire. Bill, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bob.
Let me just tell the people just a little bit about him. You know, I could talk all night about Bill, and I don't even know where to start. I guess I'll just have to say he is one of my best friends. He's been a friend of mine since 1982 when he started practicing law. He was in the firm with me. He won't admit it, but he helped mentor Scott Kugler, who is now a federal judge, or maybe he mentored us. I don't know.
I think it's probably a little of both.
But Bill is graduated from the University of Alabama, and he is the person for divorce in Tuscaloosa. If there's a divorce, I mean, he gets a call from somebody in that case. He practices now with Tanner and Guin. He's a great lawyer. He teaches out the law school, teaches divorce. So I venture to say won't be a caller that can stump Bill on what's the law and what to do. So I would welcome my best friend to this law
Thank
call.
you, Bobby.
Well, great. That is a very good welcome
Oh, yeah.
for Bill, and we are certainly glad to have you here tonight. A big endorsement from Bob saying you are the divorce attorney to go to in Tuscaloosa. So I'm sure we've got lots of good questions for you. In fact, those phone lines are full. So we'll get to our first caller. That is Judy calling us from Sylacauga. Judy, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Glad you've called us tonight. You are our first caller tonight. Judy, what's your question for Bill and for Bob?
Well, actually, I have a very happy marriage, but I'm calling for my daughter. She is going through a very bad divorce. Her husband left her for another woman, and he is his girlfriend, my son-in-law's girlfriend, keeps filing warrants on her for communication harassments because she keeps calling him, or she's calling him, and trying to keep in contact with her husband because of their 10-year-old son. And she's filing communication harassment. Actually, she just had her arrested this morning. I just don't understand how the law can keep letting her do that.
All right, a good question from Judy.
Well, frequently in this area of the law, there are people who will abuse the system really to the detriment of those, the other people who try to play by the rules within the system. It's not the norm, but it does happen a lot. I would recommend that they speak with a lawyer and see if there is some court proceeding that can be filed or initiated to try to stop that, because it shouldn't be tolerated. It's bad enough going through the situation they're going through.
All right, well, we hope that Judy...
Well, I was just going to say one thing that I know Bill used to try to get me to do is to tell our clients to write letters, to communicate with him with emails and letters, and that is a lot less, it's a lot more difficult to get a harassment warrant against somebody because you don't have to read the mail.
Right.
So.
All right, well, we hope that Judy and her family get that resolved. Next up is June calling us from Tuscaloosa. June, how are you?
Yes, hello?
We can hear you, June. Go ahead.
Okay, I would like to know, I was married for over 13 years, and I want to know why is it that when we went to court, my soon-to-be ex has a very good job. He has not provided any child support for his daughter since we separated, and I was not awarded anything when I went to court. And like I said, he has a very good job, and he did dispute my income, and I just wanted to know, it seems like to me he would have been, ordered to pay at least something, and he wasn't.
Sure.
Well, again, I don't understand the reason that he wouldn't have been ordered to pay something. We have two excellent judges here in Tuscaloosa County who will look at each case. They're going to try to take care of the children in every case. If this gentleman is working, has a job, he should be paying child support unless there's some fact that we are not aware of. But generally, if there are children to be supported, that's going to be a priority with the court. And they're going to, whether they have to garnish him or look for other means to bring him in front of the court to enforce those obligations to his children, that's going to be done.
About alimony, Bill, on a 13-year marriage, what's sort of the rule on alimony?
Different judges treat it differently. Typically, our judges here are going to look, one of the factors is the length of the marriage. 13-year marriage is generally nowadays considered a long-term marriage. Never thought I'd say that, but it really is nowadays.
Right.
And typically, if it's a long-term marriage, the court, that's one of the biggest factors the court's going to look at. They're also going to look at earning disparity between the spouses, their health, their job situation, their future prospects, and so forth.
Right.
It's one of the factors, though.
And Bill, talk about how these days in divorce and when you've got a custody situation, the issue of relocation, when that parent who has the child maybe wants to relocate due to a job or for another reason, how does that play into the custody arrangement?
It's what I call a hot topic in family law today. The legislature passed an act in 2003 that tried to ensure long-term that both parents will stay involved in the lives of their children. Prior to that, it was easier for a custodial parent to relocate out of town, out of state, sometimes without notice, without making arrangements for visitation to take place and so forth. It's not supposed to be done now. There's supposed to be notice provided to the non-custodial parent, and there are supposed to be arrangements made so that both parents can continue to co-parent and